The real genesis of it was when Jacob was working at an existing shop and I lived really close to it. You know, so he would come hang out with me after, or he'd text me when he'd get off work and I'd head over to his place. And I would just hear him talk about the job, and he would say like, yeah, like at my job, I don't feel like I'm really helping the customer out at all, you know? Like I just sort of sell them something and it's soulless. So we just got to talking about like, all right, well, like if vaping was geared towards solving a problem as opposed to pushing a product, what would that look like? Once we'd sort of figured out as best we could all the details of you know, how it would work in our heads, we just sort of brought the idea to some investors and said, let's see if this works, and they went for it. And we just kind of hit the ground running. We reached a point where we were like, okay, we can do this if we want to. Should we? And the answer was a resounding yes.
So we opened in August of 2015 in an old Victorian-style house on Grand Avenue in St. Paul. Loved that location. It was a lot of walking traffic. It's a really nice neighborhood. The house that we were in was this really old, original construction St. Paul house, so it felt like we were kind of part of a landmark part of the city. That initial location is kind of where a lot of the stuff that's still characteristic of us today comes from. And after about a year there, we had started to outgrow the space. We'd started to run into some conflict with the city, and it worked perfectly for us to relocate over to Snelling, and we did that. And we sort of brought a lot of the lessons that we'd learned and a lot of the cool tricks and tips that we picked up in the first location to the second one, and it's been a journey.
I think the thing that sets us apart from everybody else is the idea that you as a customer could have gone anywhere but chose to come to us, and we show our appreciation for that the entirety of the interaction. Everybody gets a greeting and a smile from a standing employee. We ask how we can help, we answer questions, we don't push anything. Everybody gets that. It doesn't matter if you're 6 kids who turned 18 yesterday, if you're someone coming in with your mom who really doesn't want to quit smoking but you're pushing her to, if you're any average Joe off the street who just needs their juice and then they're trying to go home, everybody gets treated as though they're, you know, a cousin we haven't seen in a year or two.
We've seen the struggles that the retail industry faces in the 21st century firsthand, and we've really done a lot of thinking about how to overcome that and how to offer something in person-to-person sales and in retail sales that you can't get over the internet or you can't get from a big chain store. We really encourage people to learn as much or as little about vaping as they want. For some people this is a hobby, for some people this is a method to quit smoking, and we think both are super valuable ways to go about this. So we certainly approach it differently, and we love that. We love being a slightly different take on quitting smoking.